Hey, what is up everybody? My name is Chad, and this week I'm finally going to answer the question that annoys me, but is one I've been getting for 2 years, so I really need to get to it. It is why I don't recommend people go to Tokyo for their first time in Japan. Because you gotta think, if you're going to America, probably the majority of places people will go are like LA, Chicago, or New York, so why wouldn't you go to that version of Japan? Well, I have my own personal feelings. Now hold up, I'm sure for all of you people that live in Tokyo and you're watching this and you're like, how dare you diss my home city? Just chill. Give me 5 minutes just to explain my side. I've been to Tokyo on many occasions and I've been all over Japan and I've lived there. I still don't recommend it for the noobs watching this, and I'm assuming if you're watching this, you probably haven't been to Japan yet. But just give me a sec. Now, disclaimer, I'm not saying don't ever go to Tokyo. Go, sure, why not? But your first time in Japan, when you're new to the language, new to the culture, new to how the people work, you're a baby. You don't understand how necessarily to not offend people, and it's not your fault, and that's okay. Papa Bear here is gonna teach you something on this channel, doing what I do, but if you don't know, don't go there. Now, Chad, why wouldn't I go to Tokyo? Well, I have some personal experience with Tokyo that is not great, but there's still things to see there. There's touristy spots to go to, but to spend your time there or even more than a few days there is kind of robbing yourself of the opportunity to experience real Japan, in my opinion. And that's not to say that you can't get Japanese things in Tokyo, but it's kind of like saying, hey, I've experienced what real Americans experience. I went to New York City, I went to Manhattan. I know what real Americans, what they're like. No, you don't. You have no freaking clue. Real America is somewhere in the middle. And likewise, if you're gonna go to Japan, go to Japan. Don't just go to this weird fetishized kind of amp turned to 11 area of it. And that's not to say that you can't get a good experience in Tokyo. I mean, even in Tokyo, I've gotten a warmer reception than I have in a lot of the other countries I've gone to. Even Asian countries. I went to Korea and I like Korea, but I was not nearly as welcomed as I was in Tokyo. Mind you, I speak Japanese, but that's not the point. Why would you, in my opinion, why would you settle for this like kind of okay experience in Tokyo when you could rise to godlike status? Like literally, if you go to any of the other bigger cities or smaller cities or anything really that's outside of the metroplex-politan of Tokyo, it'll be a slower pace. People will talk to you. People are interested in your life. You will make very deep friends very quickly from strangers. I went to a skate park and bought everyone there $20 in sodas, and 3 of them became my best friends that I've had in my entire life. You wouldn't get that in Tokyo. If I went to a Tokyo skate park and did that, they'd all throw things at me probably. Now remember, I've been all over Japan. I've been a lot of Asia as well. I speak the language. I know the culture. I've met thousands of people. And I've never had a negative experience except for Tokyo, and I've had it on several occasions there, unfortunately. I mean, I've been hit with anti-American magazines by some guy protesting on a corner. I've been kicked out of restaurants that I just walked into just for being white. Like, you hear all these stories about it being popular to be foreign, and it is usually, but what you guys have to think is every dude bro ever from college who's like, bro, let's just pound sake shots and sleep with geishas, bro. And the other bro's like, dude, you just blew my mind. Bought my ticket. Let's go. Where do they go? You know where they go. They go to Tokyo. They don't know what freaking Sasebo is. They don't know the island of Shikoku. They don't go anywhere south. They go to Tokyo, and you gotta think all these dude bros that are pissing people off kind of stay in the metroplex of Tokyo. So what I'm not saying is I'm not saying Tokyoans are mean to foreigners. I've met nice people in Tokyo, and I have plenty of YouTube friends that live in Tokyo, but if you guys are going to Japan, I want you guys to have the best experience, not just like, all right. And I don't want you guys to have to deal with that. I mean, at the time I got kicked out of all those restaurants, I spoke very good Japanese, knew the culture very well, knew how to not piss people off, and yet I walk in and they go, get out, no foreigners. And I'm just like, I don't blame you. I don't blame you because I know the dudes that made you enact that rule, but I'm also still like, but I'm hungry. And I don't want you guys to have to go through that, so just sidestep all of the sadness and just don't go to Tokyo. I mean, you gotta think, if you go to anywhere that isn't, cognitive in the American or Western mindset, Hokkaido, Shikoku, Fukuoka, I mean, Okinawa a little bit less, but like any of these other places that dude bros probably won't get to very often, you'll usually be welcomed with a lot warmer response. You'll meet people easier, and you also will have to deal with people. Like, Tokyo's always moving, always bustling. People are always going somewhere. They have no time to talk, and if you guys want to make a deep-seated friend, it's harder to do in Tokyo. Someone that you'll talk to years later, that's really hard. It's hard anywhere in Japan, but especially Tokyo, and that's one of my favorite memories, and I want you guys to have something similar, so maybe, trying to find that person in Tokyo is not the best option, in my opinion. Not to mention, everything there is so freaking expensive. Like, just for some comparison, right? Here's my video on what my apartment at the center of Fukuoka. Fukuoka's a big city. The center of it costs. Here is another J-vlogger named Charla and what her apartment costs. Compare it. Compare the size, compare what you get with the price. Tokyo is just living and food and everything, double it from where everything else is in Japan. So if you guys are looking for hotels and cars and transit, get the flock out of Tokyo. Go to anywhere else. You guys want to experience real Japan, get on a train in any direction, go it for an hour. You will get to what real Japan feels like. Or you'll be left in the freaking nowhere. And mind you, you'll get everything from that Tokyo experience in all of these other cities. Like, really, think about it. What do you want to see? You want to see big mountains, beautiful rivers. You want to see giant temples and shrines. You want to see what a Japanese high school is like because you watch anime. You want to buy a ridiculous amount of anime stuff. You can find giant anime manga stores, huge, special old shrines all over Japan, not just in Tokyo. In fact, you'll probably find bigger ones outside of Tokyo, for being honest. I remember one of the things I really didn't like about Tokyo. It's got, 13.5 million people in one freaking metroplex. It's gonna smell. In the summer, there's so many people there that they can't possibly contain the smell of the droppings of every 13.5 million person in that one city. There's no way. So what happens is I often in the summer, if I go through there, it just reeks. Everything smells, everything's dirty. Compared to the rest of Japan, I mean, if you guys are from New York, it's probably no big deal, but for me, it's like, I would rather go anywhere but here. I mean, what else is there? Ramen, sushi, kabuki, sumo, freaking beaches, like all of this you can find basically anywhere else outside of Tokyo, and usually you can get to it for cheaper, live there for longer, have more fun, meet more people, and get better prices, frankly, than there. So it's just, in my head, it's like, just go anywhere but Tokyo for your first time. And if you want to go to Tokyo, make it a couple-day adventure. Go see the Kamakura Daibutsu. Go check out Mount Fuji and the Suicide Forest. Go check out, some of the touristy things, but leave it at that. Leave it at a couple-day experience and then go somewhere else. Make sure at least 2/3 of your trip is not in Tokyo, because you guys deserve to see what the real country's like, because that's the country that I've seen, and it's the country that made me fall in love with it, and it's so beautiful, and the people are so amazing, and I don't want you guys to get screwed out of that by thinking if you go to Tokyo, you know what Japan is like, and you go, wow, that's not somewhere I would ever live, because it's such a habitable country as long as you freaking leave Tokyo. And I'm gonna get a lot of flack from people that live in Tokyo and they go, this place is very habitable. I get it. Have you lived anywhere except for Tokyo? I'm telling you, people are moving away from Tokyo to other cities like Fukuoka en masse because it's just better quality of life. And I think that's about where I'll leave this video. I have a bunch of stories with Tokyo. I'm not gonna go into it, but these are my reasons why if you are new to Japan, go someplace other than Tokyo. If you're thinking about living in Japan, go someplace other than Tokyo and just visit. Just visit it, don't live there. If you guys liked this video, be sure to like it down below. It helps me tremendously, especially with this new stupid YouTube algorithm. If you guys have any questions about my experience in Japan or learning Japanese, living in Japan, why I feel the way I do, really anything, please leave them in the comments down below. I do get to all of them, minus the one that you guys put fag in the comment box, in which case I probably won't respond to you. Also, if you guys like this type of content, check out all of my other videos. I do a plethora and a wide range of things involving Japan, Japanese culture, learning the language, and just being really involved with my community. So if you guys like that, please do consider subscribing to my channel. I put up 2 videos a week. That's about it. So grateful for you guys watching. I will see you on Saturday's anime night stream.